Cops don't like me, so I don't like cops.
Badges don't grant extra rights. This is Cop Block Radio on the FPRN Radio Network. Here are your hosts, Eric, Adam, and Scott.
And welcome everybody to the Cop Block Radio Show for November 27th, 2013. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving, and I think Scotty has taken an early Thanksgiving and will not be joining us tonight. So I'm Eric, and with me tonight I have Adam, and that's it.
What's up, buddy?
He might be drunk. I don't know. I think he's just, he says he's tired, but I think he's drunk.
You think he's drunk? He's starting his Thanksgiving weekend off to a nice start.
So, what are you doing this week, if anything?
Well, I've got huge dinner plans for Sunday. I've got roughly 20 to 30 people coming over to my house to just indulge in this giant feast and just hang out. So cool. That's going to be a fun day.
Yeah, I have the turkey in a nice bath right now, so it'll be nice and marinating overnight. So
nice.
So has anything happened this past week?
Well, yeah, it's the same question I just did. I'll shoot first then, I guess. All right. My week was pretty dang good. Pretty solid. I know this morning I woke up to... well, I was tired and grumpy. Woke up to a hilarious video that our friend Dio made for us, and just cracked me up. And I wanted to give Dio a shout out. Thank you for making that, Dio. It's an awesome video. But I think it's been a good week. How about you?
Good. Not a whole lot's been going on here. It's been pretty quiet, so we'll see how that goes come the next big holiday weekend. As far as I know, there's no checkpoint so far this weekend, so we'll see.
Well, you never know. Thanksgiving, they're probably going to be out there.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I haven't seen anything come across. They have to announce early that's going to be happening because they have to petition the state to do it, and it's usually picked up by news and whatnot. So,
You'd think, yeah, with the holiday weekend, they'd be doing something like that. They almost always do extra patrols, whatever the heck.
Yeah. We know they're all over Cleveland, as Dio's alluding to in the chat. Ohio pretty much has them almost every weekend anyways, somewhere. But Cleveland seems to have them almost on a weekly basis, it seems.
Wow. Craziness. We don't do any of that here, and I love
it. They don't do a whole lot of it here. It's only been one so far this year.
Yeah.
In the area where I live, so.
Yeah, and the one and only that you went to and ended up arrested at.
Yeah, it's all good.
I still gotta laugh at that one.
Yeah. Oh well.
That and you and not recording.
Yeah. I tried to get my camera, but it was behind me, and I didn't want to get shot trying to reach behind my seat.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, probably with like New Year's coming up, there'll probably be definitely some happening during that time.
Oh, yeah. I would believe that.
Yeah, but of course we are on, which is close to the holiday, so we know that a couple shows at least one show didn't come on air tonight, but we're here.
Yeah. Yeah, we decided to make it anyway. Well, Scott decided not to, but we did.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah. It works out because we have the three of us, so as long as two of us show up, we're okay.
Yeah. Except for that one day where I'm going to leave it all up to you. No. Totally joking.
So, I saw this come up on my news feed about the guy in Miami who has been arrested for trespassing like 56 times.
It's a crazy amount. I remember that. I gotta find this article so I can look at it too.
Yeah, it's in Miami Gardens, Florida. This guy has been arrested He's been stopped over 250 times in the past 4 years, and been trespassed from his work, even though the boss never trespassed, even though the owner of the property never trespassed him. The cops have just have cited him with trespassing, even though he was never actually trespassed by the owner, because he works.
They're just making stuff up. It's blatant making stuff up. What do you got? You got an article here.
He's been searched over 100 times. He's been jailed 56 times, and has never been convicted of anything more serious than marijuana possession. And he's been arrested for mostly trespassing
62 times.
Yeah, where he works.
Freaking crazy.
What? I mean, really? How does that even happen? Of course, he is of a darker skin complexion, so that seems to be the case. The boss put in 2012, in June of 2012, he installed 15 surveillance cameras in the store, not to catch criminals, but to watch the police, because there are a bunch of people who have been trespassed from the property, even though the owner of the property has never trespassed these people. So these people are getting arrested and taken off of the store's property, even though the owner has never asked them to leave and doesn't want them to leave.
Well, of course, that's his customers. I mean, you're arresting his customers. He's losing money. I mean, it's funny though, because I mean, basically, you got this store owner that's now basically cop blocking.
Yeah, so I've seen it all over the place. It was on CBS in Miami. The one I'm reading from right now is from RT, and it's been going on all over. And of course, the police chief and the city manager did not respond to attempts by the Herald to get statements. So what are these guys doing?
It's craziness. I know, and the RT article had a couple more different things here. I'm trying to open it up here to remember. Let's see. Wasn't there what? The owner of the store had that sign. He had made a deal with the city to put up a zero tolerance sign for the police, basically saying he was going to help fight crime. And he actually has now taken the sign down because he didn't want to cooperate with the police any longer, because all they're doing is harassing his patrons. And so he took it down and basically told the police he doesn't want them on his property, and they still keep doing it.
Yeah, it's wow. And the guy who's been arrested even has said in here that we have people shooting, killing, robberies, and this is ridiculous that they spend so much time arresting people for trespassing. Although he should have went on and said on a property that no one's actually been trespassed from.
Yeah, I like to quote here in the RT article. I'm assuming this is from the store owner. He says the real problem here is that the police department doesn't have any relationship with its community, black or white. When they make these kinds of stops for minor offenses, it only reinforces the mistrust.
Right. Did you see the little poster that Police One put on their Facebook? It's something about, don't tell your kids that we're evil, blah, blah, blah. I'll try to find it, but it is really funny.
That's hilarious.
But it's basically an advertisement to say, why are you telling your kids that, we're evil and they run away from us? They should be coming to us for help, blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, you don't do a very good job of coming off as being very helpful, so.
No, they tend not to. Especially with the RT article too, it talks about the fact of they've seen multiple instances, and I know I've seen it here, and I know a lot of people have probably seen it before, where the police show up, 6+ units show up for a burned out taillight. I mean, it's obvious intimidation and overkill and unnecessary, and just freaks people out, makes them mistrust the cops even more.
Yeah, there's a department here in New Hampshire, which is it's Weir, New Hampshire, or sometimes pronounced Ware. I don't really know if it's Ware or Weir. It's Weare. Might be just Ware. We pronounce things funny here, so. But there's a station there that they love to pull people over for the smallest infractions, just so they can pull them over, and run their name and all that jazz. It's like a daily occurrence that they're pulling people over for stupid crap, and they just harass the citizens. And they've had a couple lawsuits against them recently. The current president of the Free State Project has a lawsuit against them, or did, because I believe she was arrested for filming a traffic stop, which we all know is perfectly legal, yet they seem to constantly arrest people for doing so. And I just came across the Police One Facebook thing. It says, public service announcement. Parents, please stop telling your children that we will haul them off to jail if they are bad. We want them to run to us if they are scared, not be scared of us. Thank you. It's like, well,
don't you need to prove that then?
What?
need to prove that then, wouldn't you? I mean, you have to earn that trust.
Right. Please stop telling your children that we will haul them off to jail if they're bad. That's haul them off to jail even if they aren't bad. So,
yeah. What are we trying to talk about here? I mean, they teach us that in school. Even if you're bad, you get hauled off to jail. It's all over the media. It's all over everything. If you're bad, you go to jail.
Yeah.
So
and even if you aren't necessarily bad at all, anyways, you can still go to jail, because there's so many things that are perfectly harmless that are illegal. They don't harm anybody else, but somehow it's illegal to do these things. So maybe they should reevaluate their public service announcement, because it's pretty stupid.
It's more than stupid. but wait, it's like Dio says, if you're not doing anything wrong, what are you worried about?
Right, exactly. Because if you're not doing anything wrong, then you can still die in jail.
Yeah, we're still going to arrest you anyway.
Right, exactly. They'll find something to arrest you for, even if then you're not actually doing anything wrong.
Oh, you trespassed because I said so.
Right, even though the owner said you are fine to be here.
Yeah, even though you work at this place.
I know, that's really messed up. Your guy is employed there, and he has been cited for trespassing, even though he works there.
I really want to know what. I mean, if he gets charged, is he like taking it to court each time, or are they just completely dismissing these charges against him?
It sounds like they're all getting dismissed because he's never been convicted of anything.
Yeah, I'm just curious if he's ever gone to court and like stood in front of a judge, and the judge has been like, what the hell? And just like laughed at him.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Nothing ever comes to it. Like, why isn't at this point, this guy has been in front of a judge at least more than once on the same exact thing.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's been jailed 56 times, he has had to have been in front of at least one judge multiple times. And it means that for the 258 times he has been stopped and searched, there are police officers who have done this, numerous times, and there might only be a couple that have done all, 258 searches of him and jailing him. I don't think there would be that many people that are in this particular area.
Well,
so, what the hell?
Why has no one else noticed this? I mean, you'd think, you got dispatch they call into. You'd think somebody would get used to this guy's name and say, why are we harassing this guy so much?
Right.
Why does he keep coming in here and not actually being convicted of anything? He gets these charges, they get dismissed, he walks out. I mean, realistically, you'd think somebody in booking or something would be like, what the hell, guys? Leave this guy alone.
Well, that's probably the thing. The call logs aren't updated after they go to court. So when the person runs their name, it says he's been trespassed, 60 times from the location that he's currently at. Mm-hmm. They don't have the information that he has never been convicted of any of these trespasses. They just see, he's been cited 60 times, so he must be trespassing. So we're going to cite him again. And it just is like an ongoing thing. Which, if you're not convicted, shouldn't that completely be wiped from your record? Obviously not in Florida, it's not, so...
Obviously not there.
I mean, we've already talked about how an arrest, regardless of the outcome, in some states, stick on your report for over a year. So it's like, if you were arrested and were found not to be in the wrong, why is that information even there?
Yeah. And then even then, I'm like, this guy's getting harassed this much. All right, hold on. I lost my train of thought here.
Right.
And now it's gone.
Having that data there basically entices them to have a presupposition about your character, regardless of the outcome of your previous interactions.
Yeah.
So
then
that
why is this guy not sued them yet for harassment? I mean, this is blatant, obvious harassment.
Well, he's working on that now. It says he's going forward with a federal case of police harassment and intimidation and whatnot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, my live studio audience tonight has decided to give me an idea here that the gentleman should file a restraining order against those police officers by name for harassment.
Yeah, and the store owner should file no trespass orders or no contact orders to all the police and by name. That'd be hilarious. But yeah, it says right here he is preparing to file a federal civil rights lawsuit alleging racial profiling, illegal stops and searches, and covering up police misconduct. So, and apparently this goes farther up the chain than just the street level people who are harassing him. So,
oh, obviously, yeah, it's a serious problem. Obviously, that needs to be handled.
Yeah, and as you were saying, the 6 officer thing, that was actually from this article where he was pulled over for when he was leaving the store because he had a broken headlight, and a total of 6 officers were on scene. So, right there is obviously a huge waste and blatant harassment of this individual or individuals who go to this one particular store. So do they have a grudge against the owner or something, or are they just trying to kind of smoke people out, if you will?
Well, that's what I'm almost curious about, because of the fact that he said he was going to work with the police to help fight crime, put the sign up, and then they start harassing people. He takes the sign down. I'm wondering if it's like, retaliatory now, or it's how dare you take down that sign and not work with us? Now we'll just harass your customers even more.
Right, but was that before or after the sign? I guess that's a question to ask. Anything else you want to talk about? Something just popped up, sorry. Let's see. My internet has crashed on me. Come on.
That's no good.
Yeah. I'm trying to load our stuff, but nothing's loading.
Shame on you.
How about twice?
Shame on you.
Oh, well, if you have internet...
I do. Obviously I do. You have some because you're still here.
I know.
Do it live!
Apparently, where I saved all my notes, though, I can't get to. But
crap.
We'll figure it out.
Well, I got another article here if you want me to just keep going here.
Go for it.
All right, so I got the RT article here. It's handcuffed North Carolina teen ends up shot dead in the backseat of a cop car, and the police have denied any involvement. This article is from earlier this week. Handcuffed 17-year-old North Carolina boy died of a gunshot wound in Durham, whatever, police department patrol car Tuesday morning, according to a 911 recording made public Wednesday. In the recording of the 911 call, police officer radioed emergency dispatch just before 3 a.m. Eastern time Tuesday morning to report shots fired in the parking lot of the station. The dispatch asked the calling officer if he was hurt. According to the recording, I don't believe so, the officer said in response. The officer is heard asking for medical assistance for a gunshot wound, approximate 18-year-old male, not breathing. So basically we got ahead of the release, the released recording, Police Chief Joseph Lopez said his department didn't know how the young man died, but said based on preliminary investigation, it does not appear that any Durham police officer fired a weapon during this incident. So this 17-year-old boy is in the backseat of a patrol car in the parking lot of the police station and somehow shoots himself. Dead.
Did he shoot himself, or was he shot by somebody else?
Well, it's the thing. He supposedly was handcuffed in the back of the cop car. So, I mean, we've seen this once before with a handcuffed person in the back of a cop car. It wasn't too long ago and ended up shot. Basically, according to the News and Observer, he didn't have a gun. If there was a gun, I don't know where it came from. And yeah, they're just completely either acting completely stupid and have no idea, or they're covering something up. I have no idea. It's still very far up in the air from what this article has.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, this is about 5 days old or so, it looks like.
Yeah, from what I understand, there hasn't been any update to it yet, so it's yeah.
All right, well, I guess we'll keep an eye on that. Yeah, I don't know where it's gonna go from here. Hopefully, something comes out that we can use, but right now there's very little information out on it.
Now, supposedly, Jesus was picked up for trespassing charges, but yet he was picked up 2 blocks away from his home on the sidewalk. So his family's asking, where was he trespassing? Is this another one of those, we're just going to charge him with trespassing because we don't have anything better to charge him with?
Yeah, apparently.
And basically,
trespass from public property.
His mother is saying that the next time she's going to doubt picking up the phone and calling the police.
Well, that's a good start, at least.
Yeah, good start there. Good one. Handle it yourself.
It tends to have a more favorable outcome most of the time. It usually does. Unless you're seriously in danger and actually need something like that. But
and even then, you probably should have your own protection then.
Right. Yeah, like we saw out in Oregon where they couldn't respond to somebody's being attacked inside their house because they had spent all their resources and overtime on busting drug dealers and stuff.
We got too much pot in this town, so we can't come save you when you're getting raped.
Right, exactly.
Yes, it's craziness.
So, you posted, but this is out Scott's way, the first ban in the country of 3D printed guns.
Oh yeah, that's yeah. I don't even know what to say about that one yet.
Well, did you see the company who has made an all metal 3D
I did
printed
the other day, yeah.
In 1911?
That was awesome, and I am so ecstatic about it.
I know, that would be sweet. I can't wait till metal 3D printers are relatively cheap because we will have the coolest stuff ever.
Oh yeah, but not if Philadelphia has anything to say about it. You won't have shit.
Well, yeah, I mean, of course they can make it illegal. It's not like people are actually going to follow the law, so they can make it illegal all they want.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it doesn't mean I won't print it in my house. Be like, oh, what? What are you talking about? Not condoning breaking the law here. No, not at all.
If it's an unjust law.
Yeah, you can't. Of course, in the Philadelphia's ordinance, you can't even create a piece. So, like, if you had just like a spring or probably a spring wouldn't work very well on the 3D printer, but just like a new little doodad that goes into it or some random screw, you can't make it.
Or if it's a Pop-Tart and it looks like a gun. You printed it on your 3D printer, didn't you?
Make sure you don't print extra parts and not use them.
Yeah, so you got the 10-member city council announced last week that its members unanimously approved the first of its kind measure that makes it illegal for anyone within the city to use a three-dimensional printer to create any firearm or any piece or part, therefore, unless such person possesses a license to manufacture firearms under federal law.
So if it's not done inside the city, then are you cool?
Well, that's what it's looking like. It says within the city.
So what about possessing the item post-creation? No person shall use to create any firearm or any part,
And Texas says,
Yeah, I guess technically, as long as it's not made in, you are cool.
Well, here I got. It looks like Texas has rebutted to this. Here, let me share this with you real quick here. We can shoot this.
Because Texas was the place where the company made the all metal 3D printed gun.
Yeah, so this is on RT. It was over on the side there. Is one of the recommended things. We got free guns for everyone. Texas starts up plans to distribute blueprints for 3D printable firearms.
Sweet. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Where are we at on metal 3D printing, anyways?
Yeah. So, top of the article here says putting a hole in someone's head could soon be as easy as pressing Control Print. Sorry, that's funny. A Texas-based group of Second Amendment advocates say they are ready with the world's first firearm-made entry for 3D printer. And basically, Defense Distributed spokesman Cody Wilson tells the UK's Guardian that his company has the logistics, time, and resources and money to start freely distributing blueprints that will let any hobbyist with a 3D home printer make their own gun. And now it's just up to Uncle Sam to sign off on the federal firearms license. Wilson does not think there will be any problem, though he said his company plans to be approved and begin building prototypes in the coming weeks.
Well, right now, plastic is about the only thing 3D printing at home, unless you have a big budget.
I don't know. When I was looking at 3D printers not too long ago, you could get yourself a decently fair quality 3D printer that would do a lot of things for roughly $1,500 or $1,500 to $2,000.
For metal?
No, plastic.
Right. That's what I'm saying. The plastic.
I haven't even looked at metal ones yet, but the plastic ones for a decent quality plastic one was between $1,500 and $2,000, which really, for what it can do and what you can make, I mean, look, imagine the stuff you ain't gonna have to go to the store and buy no more. You're like, I'm just gonna make a new one.
That would be nice. I mean, that would be huge, not just in circumventing.
I mean, you look at it that way.
I mean, there are plenty of legitimate uses and whatnot. Like, I have a watch that's over 33 years old, and they stopped making parts for it 26 years ago. So, should it break, I will not be able to get parts for it. But if I had a 3D printer, or if the watchmakers had 3D printers, they could print out the piece that I need, and my watch will keep going. So, that'll be nice.
It would. Not only that, my thought was that they've been doing great with making casts, flexible casts with 3D plastic printing. I'm like, who needs to go to the doctor anymore? Broke my arm? I'll make my own cast. Who needs Obamacare?
Yeah, you might need an X-ray to make sure your bones lined up and all that jazz.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. All right, well, we have to head to break. But stick around. There's more Cop Block Radio Show coming to you on FPRN.
In 1997, a high school shooting was stopped by a vice principal with a gun. In 1998, a middle school shooting was ended by a neighbor with a gun. In 2002, a terrorist attack was stopped by a school guard and a teacher with a gun. After September 11th, pilots began carrying guns to protect their passengers. Let's give our schools and teachers the same option. Sign the petition at defendschools.com.
Hi, I'm Trevor Moore. Due to the recent revelations that in order to fight terrorism, the NSA has been using a secret court order to spy on every single Verizon and AT&T customer, Americans have become outraged and concerned about their rights to privacy. But along with that concern comes a feeling of hopelessness. I mean, what can we do? Vote in new leaders? Well, the problem is that during an election, each candidate pretends to not be an asshole. Then when they get the job, they reveal that they've actually been a complete asshole this entire time. No, elections are of no use. The only way to fight back against our country's excessive wiretapping and data mining is to make it irrelevant. That's why we're launching Operation Everyone Talk Like a Terrorist all the time. If we all openly discuss terrorist plots in each of our phone conversations, then eavesdropping on those phone conversations becomes pointless. It's simple. We just need to work it into our daily vernacular. For example, instead of saying, "I love you," you could describe a terror attack. The larger the scale, the more you love the person.
Hi, Mom. I just got out of school. Can you pick me up?
I'll be there in 15 minutes. I'm gonna use a truck bomb to blow up the Brooklyn Bridge.
I'm mailing anthrax to Purity Morgan.
Or, nonsense about God's will being great could mean affirmative.
Hey man, they have a 7:30 show, and do you think you can make it in time?
God is merciful and his love is unchanging. Did you already get me a ticket?
And those are just a few examples. You can make up your own. Have fun with it. But it's time for us to stand up and protect our rights. Because those assholes aren't going to.
At Damari Nolo Outfitters, we view the outdoors as our home, not a harsh wilderness. Our gear is chosen for adventure, not just in our backyard, but in the vast expanse of our amazing planet. Damari Nolo Outfitters carries the essential gear and tools you will need to live the empowering mindset of self-reliance. Our products are chosen especially for their durability and quality and are carefully tested by our staff and associates. Our promise to you is we never offer any item for sale we don't use ourselves, so we can offer only what we know to be the best. Our online store makes it simple to browse through our high-quality lines of clothing, knives, tools, load carry gear, and accessories. We are committed to offering you the best American-made equipment on the market, a promise you'll see as we continually add new products. For more information about our products and blog posts to help you learn more about self-reliance and equipment, please visit www.damarinolo.com. That's DOMARI-NOLO.com. Damari Nolo, chosen for survival and adventure.
Hi, I'm Steve.
I'm Irene.
I'm Lisa.
My name is Tom.
I'm a graphic designer.
College freshman.
Stay-at-home mom with a full-time job.
Scholar on social policy and a barista.
And I'm just like you.
I'm an Obama supporter.
I support President Obama.
But the president needs your help.
Our president can't launch into another war without you. And remember, we promise to support him no matter what.
Together, we can do it.
That's why we here at the Americans for Whatever Barack Obama Wants, Did You Know He's Friends with Jay-Z, have launched a Kickstarter campaign to fund World War III.
And America is dead-ass broke, so our goal is to raise $1.6 trillion on behalf of the U.S. government.
That's where you come in.
Even a small donation would make all the difference.
When I first saw the president speak in 2008, in a YouTube clip posted to my Facebook page, I knew he was going to be right all the time. So I support World War III and IV and any moon war the president may want to start.
I mean, there is no way that he or the cabal of corporate interests, spy agencies, and shadow bankers that tell him what to do would ever mislead us. A $25 donation will get you a piece of rubble from a war-torn Middle Eastern country kissed by Senator Lindsey Graham.
A $100 donation gets you a day pass to leave your local refugee camp.
You'll probably end up in a refugee camp, but it'll have free Wi-Fi.
So please, help us reach our goal of $1.6 trillion so we can make World War III a reality. Why? Because Obama.
Because Obama.
Thanks for listening to FPRN. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter. If you'd like to start your own show with FPRN, advertise with us, or donate to the network or to your favorite shows, check out our website at www.fprnradio.com.
Free crime, Minority Report style, might soon become a reality, where the feds can find a criminal before they strike.
A suite of real-time, non-invasive sensors measure behavioral and physiological indications of malintent or the intent or desire to cause harm.
I can't stand that spray and lay up high.
And welcome back to the Copblock Radio Show, live on FPRN and syndicated across the interwebs. And like I said, we are live, so if there is something going on in your neck of the woods, you can Skype in and talk to us. You can just click on the nice little icon that's on the Listen Live tab of fprnradio.com if you want. Or you can just add FPRN Radio Live, and they'll add you back, and then you can call in. Or if you can't do that, you can still call in with a regular phone if you want. Doesn't sound as good, but we can take those at 567-314-9296, and then hit 1234 pound, and then you'll get into the queue, and you can come on and talk about what's going on in your neck of woods. So what else was what were we talking about? Oh, we were talking about 3D printers right before we went to break. But
we went on to 3D printers.
3D printers are great.
They are. Awesome step forward in technology. I'm so excited about it.
It'll be nice to just be able to make whatever you want. Or I'm sure there's going to be so many open sourced and readily available blueprints for just about anything you could think of. So
no,
it'll change a lot of how it goes. It'll be nice if you just need a part for anything and you can just print one out instead of having to run to the hardware store and hope they have it.
No, that's what I'm excited about. I actually planned this new year with hopefully if I don't get raped by Obamacare and everything else by that, and the government stealing my money, hope to get a decent enough tax return and possibly invest in one. That's actually what I'm looking at.
Sweet.
That and some more firearms before they ban them and take them from me here.
Yeah, I think I need some more bullets.
I need a lot more of those too.
Dick's is having a Black Friday.
I don't participate in Black Friday.
What?
I said I don't participate in Black Friday.
I know, but they're having a sale on. It seems like 22 LR is really hard to come by at a decent price, and they are having the 500 round pack Remingtons for $20.
Well, that's not a bad price. I noticed some interesting things on my trip down to Salt Lake and Vegas. On my trip, I stopped at most places and looked at prices on ammunition and stuff. Here in Washington, at least here in Spokane, 22 is hard to find. Relatively expensive if you can find it. Same with, well, not now. 223 was short for a long time, but not anymore. But while I was down in Salt Lake, 22 readily available, extremely cheap, and same with 223 in Salt Lake City. 223 rounds were literally almost half what they cost here for a box of 20.
I mean, when I was living in Columbus, they had CCI 22 long rifle for I don't know, $18. Of course, this is before everything went down and whatnot, but it's not too bad. I'll need to get some more some 7.62 54R.
Oh yeah.
The good old surplus Mosin ammo.
Oh, those are the good ones. Yeah. But no, as far as Black Friday goes, basically the only partaking I take in is going out and filming the stupid people in line. I did that last year. I had tons of fun with it. Luckily, this, at least here in Spokane last year, was not anywhere near as bad as the videos that I seen coming out from across the country with just gourds of people in line waiting and tackling each other. Luckily, we didn't have anything like that around here. Also with the here it was small groups in lines. Everybody pretty relatively. I like to think as Spokane is a fairly respectful city still, as far as when people are standing in line for things. People tend to still be courteous here, and we try not to trample each other. But I think that's just more along the lines of the mentality of the city. Is we haven't gone full corporatism nastiness. Who cares about everyone yet?
Yeah, I live in such a small town now. It's not really a huge deal. So, yeah. You know, and I'm not going out because that.
Well, I kind of like that.
What
I
else do we
guess
have to talk about?
technically I could. Producer made a good point of live streaming Black Friday when I go out and record. I could do that.
Yeah.
Totally could do that.
That could be funny. So, it sounds like we have another incident of a police officer shooting a kid who had a toy rifle. I think you posted this article.
No, which toy rifle? Oh, okay, there you go. Yep, that one. Sorry.
Yeah, so Wait a minute.
So yeah, we talked about this article a couple weeks back. The 13-year-old boy carrying the airsoft rifle that was shot and killed by police officers because they thought it was a real AK.
Right. Hold on. This goes back to something else, though. Oh, wow. Oh, you is a little older, but it sounds like the guy who shot the kid had previously pulled a gun on a California driver during a routine traffic stop. That's what this article is mostly about.
Yeah, basically the articles, it just basically reiterating the fact of how this officer has acted inappropriately before. And is obviously gun happy. Likes to pull his gun and ask questions later. Which was actually sad because my wife earlier this week posted up she was at work and actually had an ex police officer from California come into her work, and I don't remember what she was talking about, something, and they'd gotten on the topic of me and what I do, and she brought up the fact that I was a radio host, and the show that we do the Copblock Radio Show, and he was asking about Copblock, and he came out with the fact that he was an ex-police officer, and that he literally blatantly came out to her and said that he completely believes in the mentality of shoot first, ask questions later. And she was pretty disgusted by it, and that he flat out told her that he would do that and he would sleep beautifully at night. Didn't have an issue with it at all. He didn't care. He would shoot anybody if any sort of threat to him whatsoever. He would just shoot them, kill them. Didn't care. No remorse. And I just thought that was sad. That was the fact that there, even as an ex-police officer, still has that mentality that he doesn't care. I'm like, well, I'm glad he's not on the police force anymore, but it's still sad. So being told that we may have lost Eric, having some internet issues, obviously. Maybe the NSA tapped his shit. I'm hoping not, but we'll see. Oh, yep, and we did lose him. Oh, he's coming back. All right. Well, I'll try to keep this going here. So we've got another article out of Archie. Archie's been covering tons of stuff this week about police misconduct. So we have this article from Archie. It's teen spends 3 years in infamous New York jail without ever being convicted. So we have a young Bronx teenager spent 3 years in the infamous violent Rikers Island prison complex without ever being convicted of a crime. He was initially arrested on his way home May 14, 2010, after an unknown individual identified the teenager, then at that time he was 16 years old, was a person who had robbed him a few weeks prior. The gentleman's name is Brower, I believe, was charged with second-degree robbery and unable to post the $10,000 bail at the time of his arrest. So he was transferred to Rikers Island. The case never went to trial. However, Brower languished at Rikers Island until the charges were dropped without explanation in June 2013. So this teenager literally spent 3 years in prison for no reason whatsoever. Nothing. No apology, no nothing. Brower said about, let's see. He was talking to a local affiliate, WABC. They just said, oh, your case was dismissed. Don't worry about nothing. What do you mean, don't worry about nothing? You just took 3 years, over 3 years of my life. So more than 2.5 years into his detainment, Brower was offered a plea deal that would have likely released him under time served sentence. He chose not to take the deal because he did not want to admit guilt to a crime. Don't blame him there at all, especially obviously that he didn't do anything. So he actually has filed complaints with the city of New York against against the correctional facility and multiple state-named individuals. His complaint claims that not only was he physically assaulted and beaten by inmates as well as officers, but also that he was denied meals and spent more than 400 days in solitary confinement. The lawsuit also alleges that officers refused to allow Brower to continue his education and that he attempted suicide a minimum of 6 times. So not only is this young boy was held in jail for more than 3 years for no reason whatsoever, physically assaulted and beaten by other inmates, beaten by officers, 400 days in solitary confinement. I don't blame him for trying to kill himself 6 times. It's
We are currently experiencing technical difficulties, but we will be back on the air shortly.
all right. So we have a little bit of connection issues going on.
Are we back?
There you are.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Right. So Eric, you're back.
Yeah, my router completely locked up and stopped doing anything.
Craziness. Well, I tried to hold on there for a minute until I messed it all up.
All right.
But it's all good. We are back. Oh, it's funny stuff. All right, so basically I was on the topic of the teen in New York that spent 3 years in jail or in prison for nothing, literally.
Yes.
Basically, most of the way through the article, talking about the fact that he's has filed a complaint for being physically assaulted, beaten, 400 days in solitary confinement, denied meals, refused to allow him to continue his education because he was 16 at the time of his arrest, and that he attempted suicide 6 times, a minimum of 6 times, which, again, I don't blame him for doing so. Yeah, and basically more than 3 years in jail and let out with no reason whatsoever. Here, we're sorry. Go ahead. See you later.
So he was in jail he was charged with second-degree robbery, but
yes, he was identified by an unknown individual when he was 16 by a person that claimed that he had robbed him a few weeks prior. So he was put in jail, couldn't post bail, was transferred to the prison, and literally sat there for 3.5 years until the charges were dropped. But they said 2.5 years, 2 years into his sentence, he was offered a plea deal, and he denied the plea deal.
Well, it's not a sentence, just his detainment.
Yeah.
So his trial just kept getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. Is that
it's
what
basically
happened?
what it's looking like? Yeah.
Spent more than 400 days in solitary confinement.
Yeah.
Refused to continue his education. What the hell?
Yeah, it's yeah. Baffling. How do you let somebody sit in there for 3.5 years for nothing?
But it still doesn't even say. I don't see it anywhere in here why he was held there for so long.
Yeah, it doesn't even. Yeah, basically, he said his case never went to trial, but his charges were dropped in June 2013 with no explanation whatsoever.
Right, but how was he? Yeah, it doesn't even say why he was in. Why they kept him in there so long. There's no way they could have kept pushing his trial. Weird.
Well, number one, he is of darker colored skin.
Well,
I would have to say that could play a factor in this.
Yeah, I'd have to look further into it to find out if it was just constant continuances or anything. This particular article, unfortunately, doesn't say.
Yeah, it doesn't say. Yeah, not sure.
All right, so the network that we're on posted a bunch of fun articles throughout the week on their Facebook page, and I saw one that was a little disturbing. That in Washington, D.C., there are now new traffic cameras that monitor stop signs and intersections. So they are now video watching stop signs?
Do you have a link? Can you share that link with me so I can take a peek at that? I don't have that one.
Sorry. I just jumped to it because I didn't have anything else to go to.
No, I'm good. I wouldn't mind being able to see it myself.
But yeah, how much farther can this go? The police have activated 100 new quote-unquote next-generation traffic cameras starting on Saturday to target motorist violations ranging from failure to stop for pedestrians in a crosswalk to blocking the box. So I guess that's stopping in the crosswalk, something like that. But there is a watchdog group there who is not taking very kindly to this further Big Brother intrusion into your daily movements, if you will.
You want to talk about being able to track everybody everywhere?
No kidding. Oh my God.
No, what they're saying here, in addition to combating what police call aggressive and dangerous driving habits, the cameras will also generate income for the city through new fines ranging from $50 to $250 per violation.
And that's the whole sum of the entire point right there. Generate revenue.
Again, with it's straight up generating revenue. This is, and again, they're gonna budget this into their income. And
right,
so,
and
so
it's looking right here that
camera,
further down there is it says speed and red light camera tickets have been a boon for the city in the past years. Revenue from the cameras jumped from $42.9 million in 2011 to $95.6 million in 2012.
No wonder everybody's going broke.
Oh my
crap.
God!
Right there, the decline of modern civilization.
That's ridiculous. That is double. That's literally doubled.
Mm-hmm. That's more than double. Well, actually, yeah. That's more than double.
Just
in just 1 year over, which is obviously why they put out these things, because they are money generating.
Completely. Well, I guess their police officers aren't doing it good yet.
But I mean, there's been some cities that have been caught shortening the yellow light to generate more revenue and whatnot.
But again, they're gonna factor that into their budget, and then when people figure out how to fight them and stop paying these tickets, they're gonna be like, "Oh, we're broke. We don't have any money." Well, maybe you shouldn't budget that into your budget.
Right. That's just like the story that we did really early on in the show. Not this episode, but past. where we were talking about a city out west was relying on parking ticket fines in their budget, and they installed new parking meters that had credit card readers, and the amount of fines dropped by like $5 million, and they came up with a huge shortfall because they were banking on people to have infractions which they could fine them for.
Yep.
It's ridiculous.
It's funny.
So,
and then I'm curious on this. They're going to ticket drivers who do not come to a complete stop. Now what in their definition is a complete stop? Because I know here we have a few here in town that are basically you have to stop and wait for like 3 seconds, and if you don't wait 3 seconds, it takes a picture of you.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, here in New Hampshire, traffic cameras are illegal, so we don't have any red light cameras or speed cameras. The only cameras that we do have are on major interstates, and they're only used for monitoring traffic flow, or unless the cops have a warrant to for someone specific. Okay, you're still there.
Sorry, was muted. Didn't realize it.
So yeah, so here we don't deal with that. So
okay,
glad to be here.
Well, you're lucky then.
There's more good reasons to be here, I guess, right?
To an extent, yeah. Yep. All right, so I
Wow,
know we're
I'm
coming
totally
up close on.
okay.
Yeah, we're coming up close on the break here, so I don't want to get too much into anything too big here.
So there was another article from the Associated Press who's talking about that police around the country are getting surplus military bulletproof trucks for their departments. It's not just like the Bearcat. It's actually like
Humvees and stuff.
Yeah, like everything. Well, it says coming soon to your local sheriff, 18-ton armored protected military fighting vehicles with gun turrets, bulletproof glass that were once the U.S.'s answer to roadside bombs in the Iraq War. Wow.
We're going to bring the war home.
Yeah, I love the Obama
so
quote that weapons of war shouldn't be on the street of America, referring to like guns and whatnot. But the police have weapons of war in their vehicles.
Yep. Bringing all the weapons of war here and using them here now. Yep.
Right.
Good stuff.
So these vehicles are built for about $500,000 a piece during the height of the war. Is it actually tapering down? At the height, when was the height? Was there a height, or I haven't really seen much of a slowdown.
I think we're still climbing.
So they're among the biggest pieces of equipment that the Defense Department is giving to law enforcement agencies under a new national military surplus program. Police and sheriff departments have scooped up 165 of the mine-resistant ambush-protected vehicles, or MRAPs, since they became available this summer.
The only question I really have, where's mine?
No kidding.
I want one.
Of course, and then the Albany County Sheriff Craig Apple is quoted in saying, "It's armored, it's heavy, it's intimidating, and it's free." Free my ass. Somebody had to pay for it.
Well, yeah, the taxpayers to fund the war. I really think they should just divvy them up for us. It was our money that built it.
Though it is funny, they are too big to travel on some bridges and roads and have a tendency to be tippy on uneven ground. So I guess if you may have a impending warrant being served, just make your driveway a little tippy to one side, and
that's right. Make them have to work for it.
And it gets a whopping 5 miles to the gallon. Anyways, we have to head to break. We'll talk about this more afterwards. You're listening to the Cop Block Radio Show on FPRN.
Mr. President, members of Congress, you've been making a lot of noise about taking our guns away. But you might want to review history. 1835, Gonzales, Texas Territory. The authorities wanted to confiscate the big gun that protected that colony. You know what the people said? Come and take it. Because they were willing to fight for their freedom and their guns. So are we.
Come and take it if you want it. Come and take it if you think you can. Come and take it, but I warn you, you'll have to pry it from my cold dead hands. We want the freedom that God gave us, so you best not cross that line. If you want this gun, you gotta come through us and take it.
One shot at a time. Just like Gonzales, we're keeping our guns.
What's better than silver? Free silver, of course, which is what you'll get by partaking in Sons of Liberty Mint's weekly silver giveaways. It's fun, it's easy, and it's your chance to win 4 fine silver quarters. That's 1 ounce of .999 fine silver from Sons of Liberty Mint. All you have to do is guess the close of spot price each week for your chance to win. Visit sonsoflibertymint.com/contest for more details. That's SUNS, sonsoflibertymint.com. Paper money just doesn't get you what it used to, and we want to be prepared for a possible economic collapse, so visit sonsoflibertymint.com. They specialize in usable, divisible silver. Their signature product, the fine silver quarter, is the world's best bartering tool. Its unique design, shape, size make these 1/4 ounce .999 fine silver bars a must-have addition to silver stackers everywhere. Don't wait to wish you had usable silver. Head over to SUNSoflibertymint.com and load up on silver you can use today.
Obamacare. Fun. Cool. YOLO. At Obamacare, we believe in saying the words affordable health care so that young people will love us and sign up like lemmings. Sure, you pay 2.5% of your income in penalties, but young people don't have to worry about that because you don't have a job. Work sucks. That's why we at Obamacare want to trade your full-time job for a part-time one. So you'll have more time for fun things, like watching millionaire celebrities tweet about how affordable we are. Obamacare. Just like guys enjoy premium leather seats, so too you'll enjoy paying triple the healthcare premiums out of your new part-time salary. Speaking of guys, ever been on a mandate before? At Obamacare, we're full of mandates. But don't worry, big corporations get exempt, so you don't have to. It's fun paying for things you don't even use. Yeah, you work out, stay healthy. But come on, brah. Someone's got to pay for people who smoke, drink 85-ounce sodas, and live in a Barcalounger. So enjoy your premium hikes, young people of America, because everyone loves hikes. Obamacare. If millionaire celebrities can afford us, why can't you? A message from the White House Office of Obamacare. Propaganda to get young people to love us and sign up like lemmings.
To think something so small could control you.
And everything you do. When your life and all you love
are on the line. The RFID chip is always with you, threatening your privacy, causing severe risk to your health and personal safety, and killing you if you do not obey rogue government demands.
Because I want to increase my risk of cancer.
Because I want to live in a cash-free society.
Because now the government is looking out for us.
Because I have the mark of the beast, but it doesn't have me.
Ask your doctor how to get your chip implanted today.
Because we want to track your every move.
Thanks for listening to FPRN. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter. If you'd like to start your own show with FPRN, advertise with us, or donate to the network or to your favorite shows, check out our website at www.fprnradio.com.
And we are back on the Cop Block Radio Show on FPRN Radio and syndicated across the interwebs. And I'd like to give a shout out to our sponsor, Sons of Liberty Mint. You should really go check them out. They have really cool silver pieces available. They're biggest sellers. They're 1/4 ounce pieces. It's nice because they're square. They're not the normal rounds, but they now have a 1 ounce piece as well. You can go check them out at sonsoflibertymint.com, and that's with a U, so that's SUNS of libertymint.com. And if you go out to their Facebook page, they have a weekly contest where you can win yourself some free silver. So you should go check them out, sonsoflibertymint.com. So
who doesn't like?
We were talking about the crazy, huge, armored tanks, war trucks, whatever you want to call them. This seems to be a growing trend on bringing weapons of war to local police departments.
It does. It does seem to be a trend, doesn't it?
And it seems to be a huge trend that a lot of police officers came from the military. And now with military involvement being across the globe going on, 12 years now of almost constant meddling, that all these ex-military have been deployed somewhere. So are they really qualified to be on the streets in the U.S. when they've already had to go to the limit of, of a war-torn area that the rules are a lot different in those areas when it comes to their interaction with people who live there.
No,
that's one of the things that I find scary about the whole thing.
It is almost. It's to an extent. I think it really depends on what that person experienced in war and whether or not they are at the mental capability of handling something like that without freaking out or being able to handle themselves.
Well, it seems to be a problem that a lot of them can't handle themselves. So
it does seem to be, yeah.
And are they the ones who are trying to bring all these military tools into the civilian population?
Yeah, you bringing back all their tools they had. It's just one more reminder, technically, in that sense.
So I'm looking at this, and it says that 165 of the MRAP trucks were distributed this year. Military officials say police have requested. There are requests in for 731 more. That's a lot.
How many more?
731.
Holy, wow!
So if you distribute that over, 1,000 of these things in the U.S., that's crazy, and that's not even including all the Bearcats that have already been put out. And these things, the 36,000-pound behemoths get a whopping 5 miles to the gallon.
Because us taxpayers want to pay for that.
Yeah, and they do. They wreck the roads. I mean, 36,000 pounds. I mean, that's huge. I mean, isn't that above the weight limit of like tractor trailer trucks as well?
Well, from what I understand, the scales they flag you to pull in if you're over 10,000.
Right, and I think 30,000 is the heaviest you're supposed to be traveling on the interstates. So imagine these roads that don't have a foot thick layer of asphalt on them like a regular town road. I mean, these things probably destroy. That's way more weight than a regular surface road can handle.
Well, on your regular crappy road, yeah, 30,000 pounds on 2 axles is a lot of weight. on 2 axles.
And
You
it can
split it
make
up
it up
between
to
axles and you're all
65
good.
miles an hour.
You figure, a loaded down semi-truck, 100,000, 120,000 pounds, but that's, between 18 tires and multiple axles.
Yeah, it says that it can reach up to speeds of 65 miles per hour. So it's got a top speed of 65.
I'm telling you what, that's why they need to give me one. Because I'm going to show you how far that thing can jump.
It's bulletproof windows won't open. And for this particular sheriff in the Adirondack Mountains, it says retrofitting, including new seating, loudspeakers, emergency lights, will cost an estimate $70,000, which the department has applied for grants, which means we all have to pay for this crap.
Which means they don't have the money for it. We're getting this free stuff that we don't have the money to upgrade to do what we want it to do.
Say just in New York, police departments statewide have also acquired 150 other trucks and Humvees, a dozen of them armored over the past 2 years. Wow.
Huh.
So it looks like these big ones are in Jefferson County. I think that's Steuben County, Sullivan County, and Nassau County. Man, New York. Man, you guys got a lot of tanks in your area now.
Yeah. Have fun. Don't.
Yeah,
Rob,
this guy's like, we live in the North Country. It's common for people to have high-powered hunting rifles. Okay. Not
so
sure
I don't
where
know
that
about
gets
you, but I think this other article. Here, I'll tell you which one first before I throw it off. But I think this one totally has the potential for Dick of the Week here.
Yeah, which one?
Here, hold on. Sorry, I'm totally being a little slow here. This. Oh, I totally put it in the wrong area.
All right, well,
Dick of the Week.
I'm guessing that's why the producer was asking earlier if there was a Dick of the Week, so he could play that.
He has been wanting to play that, hasn't he?
All right, so go for it.
Play what?
Who's the Dick of the Week?
All right, so we got this is an article Ben Swan did, but I know it's been up in multiple other places too. But he's got his article. But basically, you got a cop sprays woman's vagina with mace to punish her after a drug arrest. This is total Dick of the Week material, I think. Cops in New York, not New York. I don't know why I said New York. Cops in New Mexico. We're back in New Mexico again.
Man, those New Mexico, they go off the rails, don't they?
Insane, man. It was first we just anal rape everybody and stick things up their butts, and now we spray women in their vaginas with mace. But so cops in New Mexico repeatedly sprayed a woman's vagina with mace after she was arrested for drugs. They allegedly did this to punish her. The woman, not sure if I want to try to pronounce her name and make it horrible sounding, was taken to Metropolitan Detention Center after her arrest. Next, officers stripped her to search her for drugs. They made her bend over and then claimed she had a plastic bag containing drugs in her vagina. Officers should have subsequently had medical staff remove the bag from her, but they did not do this. Instead, an officer punished the woman by spraying her in the vagina with mace. That officer, oh, wow.
Blanca.
Blanca? Is that Blanca?
Yeah.
Zapter? Yeah. Allegedly did this several times in a row. Oh, gotta scroll, sorry. So she's being represented by the American Civil Liberties Union, the ACLU. Peter Simonson, of the executive director of New Mexico's ACLU branch, is disgusted by what happened. He said that it's Tentramont to torture. It's just the maliciousness. Wow, I'm just having a hard time reading right now. Wow. I'm sorry. I'm just like, my brain is not working right now.
But I guess the overall arching thing is that they are assigning punishment to somebody justice oversight. So we have or had a situation here where an activist was trespassed off of city property. It was brought in front of the court, and there was a attorney here who has done great work pro bono for a lot of the activists here, and was arguing that, well, the legislative and the executive branches can't punish people pre-justice system. So, like, he was trespassed with no way to appeal that decision. Like, the cops and the city manager basically assigned punishment to this person before it ever went, and it could never end up getting in front of the Justice Department. So in this case, this is the same thing. The police officers are assigning a punishment to a person, which is obviously cruel and unusual, on top of that, before it could even go in front of the justice to assign a punishment to begin with. But of course, this is far beyond any punishment that they would have received anyways. So at this point, you know, it says that Zapata has been punished, although the specifics of the punishment is unknown, and is still on staff with the Metropolitan Detention Center. So she is still employed by the state, and that's not much of a punishment for doing what she did.
Well, no. I mean, wow. She's probably on paid vacation, because you know that's what they all get. Little paid vacation, and then even on top of that, this is mace we're talking about. I don't know about you, but I don't want to ever be sprayed by mace, let alone in the genitals. I can't fathom what that would feel like.
Well, yeah, and that's just for a dude who doesn't have a major, membrane in that area.
well, yeah. You just imagine it on your testicles. That would be insane. I'd be rolling on the ground screaming for a long time.
Right, and in this case, this is even worse.
Yeah.
Man.
Wow. I would sue them for so many different things.
The ACLU and this lady take this department down and get a ridiculous amount of, I don't know what. I would hope that Blanca Zapata gets at least fired, but she should be charged with assault and some sort of torturous crime.
And more than that, I don't know about you. I would sue her and be like, you know what? I couldn't have sex for like a month. So you got to pay me for that too.
And because of that, my rent's
Yeah, you're talking about so much. Pain and anguish, obvious humiliation, torture, unusual punishment. You got so much. This is just ridiculous what New Mexico is doing. I don't even understand how they're getting away with this. I mean, we've got 3 or 4 different people saying they've been anally probed, and now this.
Wait, was that in?
What the hell is going on?
No kidding. Jeez. I hope we hear more about that case soon too. I mean, we have so many cases pending that we have to follow up on. I mean, there's Jeff Gray's out of Florida, where he was arrested for filming a traffic stop, and they put him in jail and took his stuff and broke a phone, and then I don't know if they're going to follow up anymore. But Carlos Miller had the intimidating a witness charge out of Boston that they have since dropped. And then we have all the New Mexico things. So, man, it'll be a good time. once this comes out and we're farther down the road on these things. Let's see, what do we got here? Oh, we had talked about it a long time ago. There was the Army Master Sergeant who was arrested for legally open carrying his firearm. Is way back in the beginning of the year, I believe, out of Texas. But there is now more video. The original video was shot by his kid, who he was out hiking with at the time, and there is now dash cam video out, so you can pretty much see the complete video from all angles. And I believe he has since been found guilty by a jury for resisting arrest, which, of course, he was arrested for who knows, because he wasn't actually arrested and charged with a crime. He was just charged with resisting arrest. So I don't know how that works, but the sheeple have deemed it acceptable to charge him with resisting arrest, even though he was not arrested for a crime. So, still with us?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're always muted.
Yeah, I know. I try to do that. You're talking. I'm making sure, kids laughing in the background, everybody else talking, not interrupting you.
All right. But yeah, I mean, it sucks that he still got found guilty of something, which is friggin' ridiculous.
It is. I mean, really, what? Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, this just shows that the average citizen just goes along with whatever the police and prosecutor and the Justice Department wants to do to you.
That's what it seems like.
They can't reason that he was not arrested legally to begin with, so any subsequent charges after that in regards to his arrest are null and void. So,
well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. If your arrest was bullcrap, then nothing else that happened after that is legitimate.
Right. You can't have a resisting arrest when you're not actually being arrested for a crime. If you're just being arrested for nothing, then you can resist all you want.
Well, yeah, that's your legal right, is to resist unlawful detainment.
But unfortunately, he was still found guilty by the sheeple, which really freaking sucks.
It is. Yeah. I don't know. Have you seen this new campaign that you got? We Are Change, Ben Swan, a whole bunch of other big, large name people are starting off that campaign, trying to spread the jury nullification stuff.
No, is there a more recent development?
They're kicking off some sort of starter thing, trying to just kick off this huge campaign for spreading knowledge for jury nullification across the country, just on a massive scale. to inform everyone of their rights as a juror, and to make the jurors powerful again, and show the people that we have the power, not them. And so I think it's pretty cool little kickoff they're trying to get started. I haven't seen anything about it in the last couple of days of what's been accomplished in the last few days, but I know they did I know Luke did a video like last week or the week before, with Ben Swan and quite a few other people announcing the fact that they were kicking it off. Which I'll try to get that video for you, and we'll throw that in the show notes so everybody can see that.
Yeah, we had talked about it last week, not necessarily that particular campaign, but the guy who had put up the billboards in Washington, D.C., which I thought was very interesting, that it was part of the questionnaire for some prosecutors and judges if the potential jurors had seen said billboard.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you know your rights, we don't want you on the list.
Right, exactly. That's exactly what they're saying.
If you're an informed juror, we don't want you here. Yeah, that's ridiculous to me.
Right, and it was sad that the news coverage, the reporter was asking if it was legal and like basically trying to say that everything that the guy was saying was wrong. It's what it sounded like.
You have to be a good sheep.
Right, exactly.
That's what it is. Thank you for that one, producer. It was great.
So we had talked about it, I believe it was in our first episode, about the chemist in the government crime lab in Massachusetts.
Oh, yeah.
Who had been caught intentionally forging signatures and tampering with evidence in as many as 40,000 cases.
What do you got on that now?
So it turns out she had a close relationship with some prosecutors, and those prosecutors were able to successfully convict innocent Americans because she would chemically taint the evidence, resulting in career boosts for the prosecutors, while innocent men and women were torn from their families and locked in cells. Prosecutors praised her work and depended on her to get convictions. Hundreds of convicts and defendants have already been released, and there are potentially thousands more waiting to be set free. I'm trying to find out what her... In that case, so there's been some people who have successfully gotten their cases reversed from prior guilty convictions, and trying to find the last part. It says how long she is going away.
All right, so Eric, on the topic of this, my live listening audience would like to join in and make a comment on this particular article.
Okay.
So it'll be my buddy Waylon here. Everybody, here's Waylon.
Hey, I read that article yesterday as well. Did you see down in the emails, or where they'd released her emails with one prosecutor that said he needed the weight to be at least 50 pounds so they could get a trafficking charge? And she replied, okay. And then a few minutes later replied, yeah, that was 80 pounds, all right.
Yeah, I'm looking at that right now. Right at the bottom, it says, glad we're on the same team. She once wrote in including one day in May when he told her he needed a marijuana sample to be at least 50 pounds so they could charge the owner with drug trafficking. Any help would be greatly appreciated. And thank you very much. And she responded, okay, definitely trafficking over 80 pounds. So yeah, so she had been in the position for 9 years. 40,000 people may have had their cases tainted by her. And she, of course, like the dick of the last 20 years from last week, she... Even if convicted, she'll still be facing a relatively light sentence of only 3 to 5 years, which is insanely outrageous if you ask me. Because if she had tainted thousands, shouldn't that be 1,000 individual charges?
Charges, exactly. I'm thinking more like you affect 40,000 people's life like that. You should kind of turn it over to them. Did you read in there where she publicly stated that she doesn't want the department or anything to get in trouble, that she made the mistake and that she's sorry?
Yeah, but considering that all the prosecutors were all well and good in this, they should be facing charges as well. So I hope not only she gets the book thrown at her, but all these prosecutors do as well, because they know that they already knew ahead of time that they were tainting evidence. But of course, we talked about last week where the dude sent a guy to prison for murdering somebody when he knew that the person he was prosecuting was innocent of the charge. So, and he only served 5 days in jail. That was it. That was his sentence. But
all right, I think we can totally pick this back up after commercial break.
Yeah. So we have to head to break. You're listening to the Cop Block Radio Show on FPRN.
In 1997, a high school shooting was stopped by a vice principal with a gun. In 1998, a middle school shooting was ended by a neighbor with a gun. In 2002, a terrorist attack was stopped by a school guard and a teacher with a gun. After September 11th, pilots began carrying guns to protect their passengers. Let's give our schools and teachers the same option. Sign the petition at defendschools.com.
Well, yeah, it's getting tough out there. Yeah, no doubt. I work in home invasions, mostly. Some murder, occasional rape, if she's hot, or really bitchy. And I'm a huge advocate of gun control, absolutely. Every time I kick in a door or smash a window, I face the possibility of being shot and killed. Allowing citizens to own guns creates a hostile work environment for me and my associates. No one should have to work under those conditions. I say make them all illegal, absolutely. I mean, I break the law for a living. I'm a professional, so it doesn't really bother me. No doubt. No doubt.
Your local violent criminals work hard and put their lives on the line every time they attempt to murder, rape, abduct, or assault a member of the citizenry. They desperately need your help. With your support, there may finally come a day when a violent criminal can have his way with you or someone you love without the fear, anxiety, and stress caused by knowing there's a possibility his victim might be armed. Please show your support by voting for stronger anti-gun legislation because criminals prefer unarmed citizens.
In every age, a technology is created that upends the foundations of society. The wheel, the printing press, the internet. Now, in a world sliding into financial chaos, a new technology is changing the way monetary systems work around the world. It is called Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a new form of money, controlled not by banks, governments, or corporations, but through mutual commerce between free individuals. To learn more, visit weusecoins.com.
Do you have a group or organization founded on the principles of personal liberty, health freedom, or accountable government? We invite you to check out Same Side Entertainment. Same Side is a source for activists and liberty organizations to connect with well-known leaders in today's growing movement for sustainable living, personal liberty, and sovereignty issues. Same Side has a variety of keynote speakers, debate panels, interactive web presentations, musicians, and liberty-based entertainment, as well as services for web design, graphic design, video, and photography. Same Side can help customize your event by connecting you to the best of the liberty and political world while staying within your budget. Get connected with leaders in the liberty movement like Tom Woods, Kevin Gutzman, Jack Hunter, Robert Scott Bell, Bob Murphy, Michael Scheuer, John Bush, Jordan Page, Tatiana Moroz, and many more. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and our website at www.samesideentertainment.com. Again, that's www.samesideentertainment.com. Same Side Entertainment, connecting you with the education and resources you need.
Those of us looking to conduct our trades in silver have a common problem: finding the right size silver bar to trade with. 100-ounce silver bars are often too big. 10-ounce bars are still often too big. Even traditional 1-ounce rounds are hard to trade for small items. Don't worry, Sons of Liberty Mint is here to help. Their fine silver quarters are made using .999 fine silver, 1/4 troy ounce in weight, and are square in shape. They are unlike your traditional silver rounds, not only in shape, but also in divisibility. Sons of Liberty Mint's fine silver quarters are 4 pieces per 1 troy ounce, meaning you get more purchasing power with Sons of Liberty Mint's fine silver quarters. So, increase your silver stack and your purchasing power. Head over to sonsoflibertymint.com and start stacking today. That's S-U-N-S, sonsoflibertymint.com. Get over to sonsoflibertymint.com right now. Secure your wealth by trading in those pesky Federal Reserve notes for Sons of Liberty Mint's fine silver quarters. These 1/4 ounce bars, square in shape and stamped "Trust in Yourself," are unlike any other traditional round. With 4 pieces per ounce, you'll not only be investing in sound money, but you'll also be purchasing usable, divisible silver. Don't get stuck with ferns or bulky silver bars. Visit SUNSofLibertyMint.com today and invest in silver you can use.
Thanks for listening to FPRN. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter. If you'd like to start your own show with FPRN, advertise with us, or donate to the network or to your favorite shows, check out our website at www.fprnradio.com.
And welcome back to the Top Block Radio Show, live on FPRN and syndicated across the interwebs. Before we went to break, we were talking about the crime lab chemist in Massachusetts who has potentially tainted 40,000 people's cases, mostly and due to drugs. There was one email communication that was talked about where the prosecutor asked if... basically said that he needed a weight of at least 50 pounds so they could charge the drug owner with drug trafficking, which she then said, okay, it's definitely over 80 pounds.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm almost like, you know what? Public hanging. I'm sorry. 40,000 cases.
She's only facing 3 to 5 years.
That's ridiculous. 40,000 cases. You're talking about 40,000 people's lives, possibly. That is yeah. No, I'm sorry. Public execution. You destroyed how many lives? No, I'm sorry. You don't deserve to live anymore.
You know, 3 to 5. It should be 3 to 5 years times 40,000.
There you go. How about 3 to 5 life sentences with no parole or anything?
Right. Exactly.
At least. It's, yeah.
Hopefully we'll see some prosecutors coming out of this as well. That'll be good.
That would be nice too, and they deserve a lot more than 3 to 5 years too. Yeah. How do we end up with the system that you do something like that and you only get 3 to 5 years, but yet, I have 50 pounds of marijuana and I go away for drug trafficking? What's that, like life there?
Right.
Yeah. Well, I had 50 pounds of a plant, but I got to go to jail for life. But she totally fibbed and said I had 80 pounds when I only had 2 pounds, and she gets 3 years. Yeah, that makes sense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. They always destroy the evidence before they before it shows up for some reason.
Where'd this 80 pounds go? I want to know.
Right, exactly. That's the thing that always happens here when somebody is caught with like an open container or underage possession of alcohol. They dump it out on the side of the road. So it's like, if you take that crap to court, then how do they prove that you actually had it if they already destroyed the evidence? That's one of the things that these kids don't do. They just like don't even bother taking it to court, even though the evidence has already been destroyed by the cops.
Yeah. We just take their word for it, though. That's how it works.
Did you see in Cali that it is now illegal to smoke in your own home if it shares a wall with another tenant? So, like, if you live in a townhouse or an apartment, smoking is illegal in your own residence.
I did.
That sounds like they're just bumped up from what we did here in Washington a few years ago when we made it illegal to smoke in public places. If you were to, say, once a year, hire a babysitter to come to your house and watch your kids so you can go have anniversary night or whatever, it's illegal to smoke in your home because it becomes a place of business, and that 16-year-old girl down the street that you hired to watch your kids is an employee, and so therefore you can't ever smoke in your own home. And places in Arizona have similar where they've got entire neighborhoods that you can't smoke in, those little retirement communities and such.
Man, that sucks. Man, I could see it. Now, I don't have a problem if people want to voluntarily move into communities that have set these up, but the people who are already there should be exempt from these imposed rules if you're already in the area. If you're already in the area, then these imposed rules should not apply to you. It should only apply to new people coming in, because they know where they're moving. I don't have any problem with a apartment building saying that you can't smoke in our apartment building or anything like that. I don't have a problem with private individuals and private property owners saying you can't do X, Y, and Z on this property. But why is it the city's responsibility to do this for them? It makes no sense.
Well, John and Jane Doe, Sheep America they're going to really get mad at themselves when everybody does decide to quit smoking, just simply off the amount of taxes smokers produce every single day. That's going to get displaced. Do you think $4 or $5 a gallon for gas right now is expensive? When we all quit smoking and they have to recover that cost, it's going to go to fuel. And then overnight, you're going to be looking at jump from $4 or $5 a gallon to $11, $14 a gallon just to make up the tax that the smokers make every day.
I know. I moved from smoking cigars on a regular basis to smoking a pipe because pipe tobacco is still taxed completely differently from cigars. Cigars went crazy a couple of years ago where they added like a $1.50 tax on each individual cigar. So it's like, oh man, this is getting really friggin' expensive. So I had to move to a pipe, and hopefully I have enough tobacco stash that I'll be able to smoke for quite a while. But
here in Washington, when they modified those laws, we went from about $3.50 a pack to $8 a pack. And so our neighboring state, Idaho, their prices doubled up. So basically we go over there to pay what we used to pay. And with the rolling tobacco, which I smoke, you have to pay for the more expensive stuff to get the proper cut, because their new cut, their pipe tobacco cut, totally doesn't smoke the same. So they're ruining that, but they're trying to get us to quit smoking. And it's you're going to hate it when we do, because you're going to pay for it as well.
Yeah, not cool.
Yeah.
Friggin' trying to legislate people doing what they want to do who hasn't harmed anybody. But this thing passed unanimously in San Rafael City Council.
Oh, it passed easily here, too, because they didn't share all the small print. And then when people realized it wasn't just the bars you couldn't smoke in, but it could go as far as your home, you can't be within 25 feet of a window, a door, an air conditioner, or any airlet into a public building. So when we go downtown Spokane here, pretty much the only legal place to smoke is between the two center lanes in the middle of traffic, which is about big enough for a cigarette butt to get ran over. So as soon as you do that, they got you on jaywalking, public disorder, and the second they go to arrest you, they're going to move you a little bit. And if you still got that cigarette, they're going to get you charges on smoking in those public places.
It's friggin' ridiculous. I'm going to start I'd like to put little like boxes next to the sidewalk of private property where, hey, you guys can smoke right here. It's cool. Not a problem.
There you go.
Just hope the wind's blowing the right direction, right?
Yeah. I changed to a pipe too, but I just don't smoke tobacco out of it. And it's tax free.
Well, yeah, I'm hoping once we get a new house, I'll be growing some tobacco in my backyard. So
that would be awesome. I thought
won't be
that
a
would
problem.
always be fun.
That's about the only way we can really resist any of their laws. They legalized pot here, so now the only way you can actually be like a criminal grower is to grow your own tobacco.
Yeah.
Wait, growing tobacco is illegal in Washington?
Probably. I haven't tried.
I don't think it's illegal anywhere. Last I knew, growing for your own use is fine.
I'll look it up and we'll figure this out.
So then you just charge people for a really expensive plastic bag that just happens to have tobacco in it?
Well, that's the thing. If it's not cut up, if it's still whole leaf with the rib in it, it's considered an agricultural product. It's not, you can just sell it like a vegetable. So, like, if you were at a farmer's market or something, you could sell whole leaf tobacco with the rib still in it, and it's technically just an agricultural product because it hasn't been completely processed.
So there's a new idea for everybody who's listening, who's looking for something new to grow.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Because I was hoping to get some this year from a local grower, but unfortunately we had a really weird rain, like 2 weeks of solid rain right at the beginning of the season, and wiped out all like 400 plants that they had. So I was kind of he's like, yeah, we only got about 2 pounds of tobacco this year, and it's already spoken for. So give me a shout next year, and I'll let you know.
That sucks, man. Ouch.
Nope.
The whole crop, man.
At that point, it's better off for the police to come and hack and slash it, fight it, and have them pay you back for it.
Yeah. Have them come in and raid it.
Like,
yeah,
be like, well, it was only 40 plants. It was 42 makes the law. You guys owe me for an entire crop that I was already screwing up in the first place.
Call the cops on yourself. I think he's growing marijuana.
Yeah, well, did you ever see that article a while back? A lady was growing okra, and their neighbor mistook it as marijuana and called it in, and like the police destroyed her entire like okra crop. And she's like, it was okra, you retards.
Wow.
That actually happened here recently. Here, actually, in Washington, there was a guy that just got recently. Well, it didn't happen recently. He was busted for growing medical marijuana. They destroyed all his plants, his whole crop, everything, took it all. Well, come to find out, he was completely legal, within his legal amount. And so now the state of Washington has to reimburse this gentleman $250,000 for his crop.
Or you should grow
medical
amaranth.
marijuana.
Amaranth is funny looking. They'll probably get some stares too. Grow everything that kind of looks like it, and they can come through and destroy it, and then have to pay you back for destroying all your crap. I think that's a little too much of a hassle to deal with, though. But man, this is messed up. Bans residents from apartments, condos, duplexes, multifamily houses from smoking cigarettes and tobacco products inside their homes. Wow. And it applies to owners and renters in all buildings that share walls for
This whole definition of sharing walls is just, yeah.
Right. What's that have to do with anything?
Well, how exactly do you share a wall? Let's think about it for a second. What makes up a wall between two units in a stuck-togetherment, as I prefer to call them, because they're not apart. They're stuck together. Anyways, you have 2 sheets of drywall, 2 sheets of plywood, and a crap load of insulation. Depending on how new it is, it's got 2 layers of insulation between each unit. So what part of the wall are you sharing? If it's shared drywall, you're not sharing drywall. You might share insulation. Your electrical's separate. Everything is separate from them. You just get to hear some lovely midnight noises a couple times a week.
Yeah, you might share a couple 2x4s that are holding it together. That's about it.
Yeah. But you're still separated from them because you've got the drywall and the plywood separating between the two. So
right.
they're
really
going to have to go through
ventilation systems or anything. So what's the freaking problem? It's just stupid.
Sounds like a bunch of whiny pantses to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, smoke.
Well, a lot of it comes down to people separating from other Americans. They're not wanting to talk to their neighbors and get friendly with them. You move in somewhere, you introduce yourself. I mean, what happened to getting all those horrible fruitcakes when you move into a new place? I mean, you're supposed to show up and be like, hey, I'm the neighbor. This is my name. We live next to you. And
Here's
if you don't smoke and you realize they're smoking and it smells horrible, talk to them about it. Be like, hey, is there something we can do together that could solve this issue? But no, people rather line up and pass a bunch of blind laws to restrict everybody else, and then they get mad when a law comes up to restrict something they enjoy doing.
Yeah, there's somebody here who, let's see, who was he with? Heartland Institute talked about, somebody gave a quote saying that, I don't like cigarettes. I've never taken a puff. My sympathies aren't with smokers because I am one. It's because of the huge growth of laws and punishment and government restricting people more and more. Illinois' criminal code was 72 pages long in 1965. It's today 1,300 pages long.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Anytime anybody's got a problem, they're like, "Oh, let's just make it illegal."
I'm still waiting for them to prove to me that cigarettes are actually bad. George Burns lived to be, what, 80, 90 some years old. He said he lived off of three things: good cigars, good martinis, and good women. Okay? And then you've got Lance Armstrong, who's done how many bike marathons and everything. They found out he's on drugs and has already lost a testicle, and that guy's probably never even touched a cigarette to throw it away.
Well, you look at the lady who lived, who has the record of longest lifespan. She took up smoking in her 80s and smoked until like she died when she was 120 some odd. And she attributed it to drinking a lot of wine, eating 2 pounds of chocolate a week, and just having a relaxed lifestyle. So,
absolutely, and I live a much more relaxed lifestyle when I've got a cigarette.
I would concur with that. Though I don't smoke cigarettes, I just smoke a pipe and cigars. But
tobacco consumption, I think, actually saves more lives than people think.
Probably extends a few.
Oh yeah, I think it's just like anything though. It's like alcohol or anything else. You abuse it and overuse it, yeah, you can do damage to yourself. But on a moderated, respectful limit, in moderation, is probably perfectly fine.
Right, but why does the law have to get dragged into this? It makes no friggin' sense why people would use the force of government to enforce this stupid stuff.
Again, that comes back to people separating themselves and not wanting to talk to people near each other. I mean, even on my block, everybody knows about me, but I can't approach everyone because everyone wants to turn tail and run and hide because they don't want to have to talk to a person they don't know. I mean, when was the last time that anybody actually just went out and, decided to stand around, shake hands, and just meet some new people?
That's definitely the case here. Like, I was at a city council meeting, and they were talking about making a large residential area a historical district. And the funny thing was that I and other activists were the only people who didn't live inside the historical area who proposed historical area who said it was a bad idea. And everybody who lived in the area disagreed with it. But everybody else who lived outside the area wanted to make it a historical district. They didn't live there, but they wanted to make it a historical district, which makes no sense. The only people who should have a say in it are the people who live there. And all the people who live there said that they did not want it because it would restrict their ability to make alterations to their own property or sell it in the future. Some lady brought up that, well, you know where the Dunkin' Donuts is now? There used to be a really nice old house there, blah, 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 blah. It's like, so you were basically going to say, because nobody wanted to even buy that house when it was on the market, you would further restrict the ability of the owner to sell their property. So what if Dunkin' Donuts bought it? If they were the only buyer, then the seller should have the ability to sell it to whoever wants to buy it. And if no one was going to buy it to keep it as a house, how is that any of your business? Oh, you like the house. Well, if you are putting up the money to buy it, then knock yourself out. But you're not the one with the money on the line, and you don't own that property. So you should have no say in what anybody else does with their property or body or anything that they own.
No, absolutely agreed. We actually have a town here in Washington that did that. They converted over to looking like this traditional old German village or whatever. And what that does is when you do things like the historical neighborhoods and everything, is it really does. I mean, I understand both sides of it, but when you live inside of one of those, it's worse than living in one of those middle America, your grass can only be so tall things, because it doesn't enforce those laws. Anything that you do on the outside of your home has to be to certain codes, certain specifications. So say you decide you got to change the siding on your house. Well, you can get brand new siding, but it has to look the part of that historical value marker they set it at. So in a way, where it traditionally would cost you, I don't know, I've always been a renter, so it could be $20,000 to side your house, but in order to get that stuff that looks right, now you're looking at like $45,000 just to be able to do that. So I understand the people who live there's argument.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the things, and these people who are already living there are taking care of their house and keeping it in the period because they like the character of the neighborhood they live in, not because it's forced on them. If it's forced on them, then it causes all these problems with it can do two things. It can spike property values, which then makes them huge taxpayers, which then people no longer value living in the area because they're being taxed to death, and then you get the crash. And now people are stuck in these homes that they can't sell because now that they have all these restrictions, no one wants to buy because they are restricted up the wazoo on what they can possibly do. So with the smoking ban and same thing, it's like, why does anybody have any right to say what somebody can and can't do in their own property, to their own property? And when it doesn't even affect the person who's making these laws, it's completely uncalled for.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, even if I won the lottery tomorrow, I loved a house, if it was in one of those communities that's registered like that, I wouldn't want to live there. Nobody's going to tell me how high or how short I can cut my grass or when I have to water it. You know, I bought the house to do whatever I want with it. And you're right. People who live there, you know, they do things because they enjoy it, and that's part of why they moved in. Once they do something like that to a community, though, you eventually flush out all the decent people and you fill up these really beautiful communities with just a bunch of people who want to sit around and pass laws and not interact with anybody and think they're better than everybody else because their grass is cut exactly 2/4 inches.
So what, we got a few more minutes left in the show. What other stories do we have out there that we want to hit on real quick? Pete and Garrett were down in New Orleans this week. This past week. Did you see that the New Orleans Fraternal Order of Police put out a memo saying beware of the Copblock group, that they are here and their goal is to make people, or to attempt to provoke officers into overreacting for the purposes of capturing it on videotape?
Dude, that was so ridiculous. When I first saw that, I was like, "Are you fucking shitting me? Like, seriously, you're gonna put out a bulletin and claim that we like to we're gonna push your buttons until you flip out on us so you can arrest us, because that's what we want. You know, we want to get it on video of us getting our asses beat by police because we provoked them.
Because that makes us totally feel like tough guys. You know, I got beat up by a bunch of cops because I had a video camera. I think they completely missed the point of what we're doing.
I don't think that's our goal.
Which is really funny because there was an article that was then written a couple days later on, it was either on Police One or Law Officer, that said don't give them anything, and gave them the whole, and then wrote the whole thing of, you know, don't speed to Dunkin' Donuts, blah blah blah. It's like, so basically do what you're supposed to be doing for once is basically what you're saying. And the comments from the police officers were priceless. They were so pissed off about not being able to speed or doing this and that or beating the shit out of somebody just because they could. They're like, oh, we can't do this crap anymore? That's bullshit.
Is that same article where the first comment under it is by Jack Boot talking about you're not supposed to let them record, you're supposed to smash it just before you beat them and plant drugs on them?
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Yeah. I'm still debating with. I mean, the article made me all warm and fuzzy inside because, hey, they're having to acknowledge us and have realized we're not going away. But I'm still wondering, is Jack Boot just trying to be a troll, or that right there could show people, troll or not, there are cops like that out there. But
he sounded real. It was so over the top. It had to be a troll. But though that's the thing about good trolls. If they say something that could possibly be serious, just like how a good Onion article is something that you could conceivably think was real. If you don't think it's real, it's not very good satire. But a good troll will make it sound like he is 100% serious. And
well, he did later.
It sounds like something that an officer would say.
Yeah, he did come back in later comments and say that you need to make sure that they're not live streaming first.
Yes, live streaming is always useful because they can't delete that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
on the internet.
That is the best way, and that's where I suggest people getting at least a Dropbox account. You can start one of those for free, but it'll automatically upload any pictures or video you take, and that goes through your cloud. With my setup, it automatically loads into all of my computers, my wife's devices as well. So he has to get a hold of about 15 things before he can actually delete any pictures or video I take.
Yep, backup. I guess that's the word of the day. So that's all we have for this week of the Copblock Radio Show. Thanks for joining us as the peanut gallery, but then a good input. So hopefully we'll hear some more of it. So until next week, 9:30 p.m. Eastern on FPRN Radio. Remember that badges don't grant extra rights.
Thanks for listening to FPRN. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter. If you'd like to start your own show with FPRN, advertise with us, or donate to the network or to your favorite shows, check out our website at www.fprnradio.com.
Lacing up my boots, back and load my guns, and my